So I get this question a lot. Is it hard to get into this game? And are the builds as confusing as people say online? And I say no. So this is the thing. This game is for those, if you like build crafting, if you like feeling like an absolute god in the games you play, then this game does that. And also too, this game is one of those games where it doesn't necessarily hold your hand, and you can kind of play whatever style you want to. To get started, what I would recommend is just like every other RPG. First, there's classes in the game. I'm playing a monk. Monk is a melee class, but I can kind of put some magic in there if I like. But primarily it's a melee focused class. I'm using a fist build right now, and that's why my arms are glowing like that. I have a buff on my arm, but essentially what you want to figure out first is what class do I want to play. Then from that class, what style do I want to play? So my monk is an ice monk, meaning I'm using ice strike in my main attack. So now I'm using elemental damage. So I'm gonna, as I'm building my character, I'm gonna lean into things that are gonna improve my overall ice damage. I'm gonna lean into things that are gonna overall improve my elemental damage as well. My just standard damage also. And as you go through, they did a really good job breaking down how the support skills work. If you go into a skill you want to buy, these are the skills I have equipped, and you buy a support gem, it kind of gives you a recommendation like, hey, I recommend you use this skill. So the game does walk you through in that regard. Where people get caught up is when they see this skill tree. They're like, oh my god, this thing is humongous. How do I look at all these nodes? If you play games like Final Fantasy X, and most RPGs have something similar to this, they just have it like on a screen that you flip through like an option menu. Here, realistically, if I'm using monk, I'm only gonna care about this quadrant here. And honestly, within this quadrant, a lot of things in there are gonna be like, oh, increase my shock damage, paralyze my monsters. And you can kind of lean in the direction you want to go, like an ice build, monsters freeze easier, those kind of things. Or you can just kind of do like a raw build like I do, and there's things that just overall just increase your attack damage like this. So essentially what I would recommend anyone doing that want to dive into the game, because they see all the videos, they're seeing the clips, like goddamn, this game looks amazing, but I'm a little bit intimidated. I would start by figuring out what class you want to play, then go watch a YouTube video on that class and say, all right, cool, that looks really cool. Then how do I get there? And the community has a lot of good tools in terms of how to follow a guide if you like. There's YouTube videos where everyone breaks things down like I do. I got links on my YouTube channel. But also at the same time, there's websites called Mobilytics where you can literally go piece by piece and see exactly what skill that person is using. And that's how I kind of go about it. Just like when you're playing Monster Hunter, you feel like, okay, what weapon I want to use? Then go watch a speedrunner, see how they play the weapons so you can learn the skill sets. Then you watch a build video so you understand, okay, this is how the builds work, and you just go from there. So, is there gonna be some education? Yeah, just like when you're playing any other new game that you're playing. But ultimately, when you get to the point where everything starts clicking, it just feels so good. And when the build starts coming together like this, like, it's just a magical experience. So, hope this helped for people that are on the fence and playing the game, checking it out. I recommend it. It's fun. I never played these games before. I played Diablo, then I jumped to this one. I typically play like Elden Ring, Monster Hunter, third-person action RPGs, but then I was like, damn, this is actually extremely satisfying. So this is how what I'll recommend for those that are unsure that want to dive into the game. Thanks for watching.